I really like this song. It sounds good.
Mom.
Mining away.
Morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another edition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. My name is Ryan Doyle, and I'm joined today with our executive producer, Connor Doyle, and my additional co-host, Robbie Bergstone. We thank you for tuning in again on whatever platform that you are choosing to use, whether it be Spotify, YouTube, and or any other way you get your podcast.
Including Google Podcasts. I know that was for Robbie.
Including Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
You forgot Google Podcast. First off, how dare you?
It was a layup for anybody else on the program to maybe take and run and then see where it goes. But apparently we didn't rehearse that enough. Sorry to our fans.
I was just thinking about sports over here. I'm really just dialed in on the podcast. So.
Super dialed in.
We've been spoiling our fans with how many episodes we've been putting out. Put out 2 last week, and now this one's coming pretty soon after the last one. But we're going to get into it today. The first topic being, of course, the NBA playoffs in full swing, the Western Conference Finals, currently being the Golden State Warriors, 3-0 games on the Dallas Mavericks, and the Boston Celtics Miami Heat. It's split 2 apiece, going back to Miami. So I guess just because we're the Mavs hometown fans, I guess we have to talk about the Mavericks series, unfortunately. Robbie, given the fact that you're not as much of a Dallas Mavs fan as us, what are your thoughts on the series as a whole?
Mavs are getting exposed a little bit. I also think that Phoenix series was a little emotionally charged. I think there's been a little bit of a letdown coming back from that, but I think you have to give Steve Kerr some credit. They've had a pretty good plan for how they're going to handle Luka and the crew, and I think that's shown a good bit in these first 3 games.
Kevon Looney piecing us up.
Yeah, not having a
great defense on Luka.
Yeah,
not having a true big is not great. Even though the Warriors are like the best small ball team in the league. Luka's getting his, Brunson's getting his. The supporting cast has been nowhere to be found besides an occasional spark from like Dinwiddie. Kleba and Bullock have been absolute bricked the entire series. So you can see by Luka's body language, he's just kind of frustrated. He's not getting necessarily the help. Props to the Warriors defense. They're playing great. The Mavs have had a chance to win every game and just like fall apart in the second half. But the Warriors are a hell of a team. So my prediction still in play: Mavs in 7.
True. So, reverse sweep.
I'm feeling good as the only member of the podcast to pick the Warriors to win.
Yeah.
They're both homer picks. But
I'm
still gonna bank on that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And in terms of the league, go ahead, Ryan.
No, please. I wasn't gonna say anything intelligent.
No, that's why he wanted you to say
it. In terms of the league, I mean, obviously, Warriors and Mavs will playing small ball, and the Mavs living or dying by the 3, unfortunately dying in the series. And the Warriors are the one team in the league that can keep up with the 3 ball. So and they have, better 3-point shooters than the Mavs, like simply put. I mean, Steph Curry obviously is doing Steph Curry things. Klay Thompson has been struggling, but he just has been replaced with Jordan Poole off the bench, and then Wiggins is cooking us up. And like I said, Kevon Looney was destroying us in the paint last game. So I mean, when we're letting someone like, no disrespect to Kevon Looney, but in terms of like the league, he's not an elite, center or big man. But I mean, it just showcases how important sometimes that interior presence can be. And obviously, the Mavericks don't have that, especially when your 3-point shot's not falling.
And I think the Warriors know that it's going to be pretty rare that someone outshoots them, which is why they're playing defense the way they are and forcing the Mavs to. I mean, the Mavs like to shoot threes anyways. And they're letting them do that because they know realistically, like, no one's out shooting Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson from beyond the arc.
I mean,
you might catch up once in a series, but not 3 games over a 7-game series or 4 games over a 7-game series.
Can we also talk about the fact that Draymond hasn't been ejected yet? like in game one, he got that tech relatively early, and then literally the refs decided that no matter what he said or what he did, they would not throw him out. Funnily enough, he actually fouled out in the fourth quarter, but they refused to throw him out just because. What do you guys think it is? Do you think it's just because he's had so many previous years of they just expect this behavior, so he just gets away with it because they just expect it from him?
Yes.
I think that's ridiculous because Dinwiddie and Dorian get texts for opening their mouths, and then Draymond threatening the refs' families. That's an exaggeration.
You don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, but like he's always in their ear. It's
not complimentary.
Yeah, it's not complimentary.
I can go as far as to say that.
Yeah. He could be saying, "Hey ref, good foul call." You don't know.
He's screaming at him. That's true. Yeah, you're right.
That do be it. I was looking at some of the shooting stats for the Mavs, and I mean, I think we can all agree that the Mavs have been getting reasonably open looks from three. They have not shot above 29% from three in any of the 3 games.
Jeez.
So when you go and look at game 3, they lost by 9. Game 2, they were up at halftime, and then obviously the Warriors came storming back. Game 1, the Warriors won, I think, regardless of anything the Mavs do. But, I mean, lost by 9 game 2, lost by 9 game 3.
Yeah.
The Mavs don't shoot abysmally from the 3. It's at least 2-1 Warriors, right? I think the Mavs pick up a game. They should have won game 2. There's not really an excuse that they don't win game 2. So, it is what it is. But, hopefully they turn that around tonight and maybe put up a little bit more of a fight and don't get completely swept. But over in the East, on the other hand, is a lot better series tied 2-2, like Connor said, going back to Miami. I think I picked Heat in 5, so that's dead in the water. It was a little aggressive, but I kind of liked it.
Heat in 6 is still there.
I said Heat in 7.
Heat in 6 is there.
It's just a back and forth. It's like a heavyweight boxing match. I mean, it's 20-point win, and then it's just injuries are affecting both teams, but it's an interesting series.
I saw a stat the other day too that Boston, in their losses in this playoffs, have a plus 17.3 point differential the game after they lose, which is like the 5th best over any playoffs ever in NBA history. The 4 teams ahead of them all won the NBA title.
There you go.
Well, yeah, that was the Mavs stat. It was like after they lost by a game more than 20, they were 10-0 until the Warriors game. I was like, damn, that's sad. But so the game 4, obviously Ryan showed me some of the stat line, especially for the Heat because they lost by 20. Not a single starter from the Heat scoring in double digits. Victor Oladipo like trying to will the team to do anything with 20 off the bench.
Yeah, they lost by 20, but I mean, if you look at the halftime score, I think it was almost a 30-point deficit. It was not as close as 20 points.
And like Oladipo had, at the end of the first, I think the Heat had like no points, and Oladipo had scored almost all of them. And there's one point in the second half, I think they had 28 points, and Oladipo had scored 18 of the 28 points they had.
Yep.
And it was certainly surprising, given that I would argue, and this is a legitimate argument, I would say that Jimmy Butler, up until this last game, has been the best player in the playoffs. And I like just he turns it on. He turns it on whenever he's in the playoffs, just because he's so effective on the defensive side of the ball, and he's just shooting and he's just being efficient. I mean, other than this last game, I mean, I think he really has. There's obviously arguments, Luka, Steph. There's obviously so many great players right now. Luka, Steph, Tatum. I mean, you can argue
or
anyone.
Tatum, Jimmy buckets, Luka, and Steph. Right.
Butler is just the two-way game is just incredible from him, especially in the playoffs.
I keep forgetting that Oladipo's on the Heat. Like
He's
every
good,
time I
dude.
see him pop up, I'm forgetting that he's on.
I love Oladipo. Oladipo's one of those guys that I've always enjoyed watching play. He's just super smooth, especially he's one of those guys I want to root for after his injuries and stuff. So
I brought this up to Connor today. Mavs obviously need to win 4 straight to win the series. If Luka leads the Mavs to a reverse sweep of the Warriors, is he a Hall of Famer already?
Also be the first 3-0 deficit ever overcome.
That's what I'm asking.
So probably. The Hall of Famer is tough because if Luka stopped playing basketball next year, I still don't think he would be. But
it was something I was reading was kind of interesting because the Hall of Fame is not necessarily just like the NBA, right? You got the WNBA in there, you got EuroLeague players in there as well. So obviously Luka's Euro background is even more just as impressive as his NBA background. So I just thought
we also forget that he almost single-handedly carried his country to a medal at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about that. I forgot how bad Team USA was, and then they turned it on.
And like how bad Luka's team was around him, and he still
Yeah.
almost carried them too.
I remember Patty Mills was getting Patty Mills was getting buckets on Australia, but there was another guy who was cooking Team USA. I can't remember who like what isn't a huge threat in the NBA, but he was cooking. I can't remember who it was. Yeah. Do you guys have any more? Or I actually heard a quote or saw a quote from Luka earlier that said something along the lines of, he's like, yeah, especially in relation to the last game. He's like, yeah, I didn't feel like I played well in the first 3 quarters. He's like, this is my first conference finals. He's like, y'all gotta remember, I'm 23. I'm still learning. Like he said that word for word. He's like, I've never been in this position before, and it's kind of a sense of vulnerability that you don't really hear from a player like Luka all that often. So it's kind of some people need a wake up call because he's right. He's only 23 years old. This is this team hasn't been there in a while, since in 10 11 years, and he's a 23-year-old leading this team. I mean, it's hard. So, people gotta cut the Mavs some slack, especially when Luka doesn't have. I mean, I guess you could argue Brunson's more of a solidified, number 2 option, but nobody to the level obviously that Luka is. So,
yeah.
Any more thoughts on the NBA playoffs, gentlemen? The Heat Celtics shaping up to be, an all-timer. Yeah. So I guess we can move on to the NHL playoffs. Robbie, I'm going to let you take the front of this one. You probably know more about it than I do. What are you guys thinking?
The most shocking result of the second round so far is it's hard to say that the 2-time defending champions winning a series is a shock, but the Tampa Bay Lightning sweeping the Florida Panthers was pretty surprising. Best team in the NHL in the regular season. Obviously the Lightning had that experience, but they weren't playing as well this year, but they swept them. It's kind of a reversal of roles. There was a while there that the Lightning were the team that would win the President's Cup and then disappoint in the playoffs or run into, the Bruins or the Penguins or whoever else. But Panthers going down that early is shocking. Been some controversy in the Avalanche Blues series. The Blues goalie got hurt on a pretty bang play that wasn't really anyone's fault, but a lot of Blues fans felt like it was the Avalanche player's fault that the goalie got hurt. So that's been a big debate, but it seems like it's probably going to help the Avalanche win this series a little more quickly than they would have before. In terms of the other 2 series, they've been a little more competitive with the Canes and the Rangers. All of their games have been really close, really low scoring. Canes are up 2-1 going into MSG tonight. And you have the battle for Alberta, which has been back and forth, a 9-6 game to start the series, which
absolutely wild. After the Stars held them to 15 goals in the series.
Yeah, they come out and score 9 goals in game 1. So it's been a good playoffs. Like I said, there's the shocking result. Been some controversy with the goalie stuff, but that's your quick rundown.
Who's your take for the championship teams, or who you thought was going to be in the Stanley Cup?
I think they're both gone. I said the Wild.
Oh, okay.
Who lost in the first round of the Blues, and who did I say out of the East? I think I said the Panthers. So
you're bad.
Yeah.
Panthers running into the defending champs is
2-time
not
defending
great for them.
Yeah, so that was kind of the general overview of the NHL. Now we move on to something that Robbie and Ryan had put some money on. We'll talk about the PGA Championship real quick. Robbie, would you like to discuss the bet you placed and what ended up happening?
So Ryan and I went in together on a bet on Rory McIlroy because he played really well at Augusta. The chip in with Morikawa is pretty cool.
His final round in Augusta was one of the best rounds I'd seen in a long time.
I think it was the lowest final round in Masters history.
Yeah.
So we were feeling good about Rory. I also put in another side bet on Will Zalatoris. Not for any good reason. Just
yeah.
Cool hedge.
Yeah, and so after the first round, Rory McIlroy was in the lead, and Will Zalatoris was in second place.
Yeah.
So we were feeling nice. But of course, being the degenerates that we are, we didn't cash out our bets. Because we could have made like $70 on Rory after round 1. And then Rory fell apart. And it looked like Zalatoris was going to fall apart. But then the guy from Chile that was in the lead, Mito Pereira.
Yeah, Pereira.
He, choked on the 18th hole, for lack of a better word, and allowed Zalatoris to get into a playoff with Justin Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zalatoris did not win that playoff. So it was
Yeah.
just a long weekend of hope
And
then
pain.
quickly dashed.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, congratulations to Justin Thomas. How many is this for him?
I think that's his second major.
Okay.
But he was down 8 strokes at one point in the final round and came back to win the tournament.
That's
so
yeah.
pretty
Helped
impressive.
out by a little bit of a collapse on the top end from
Yes.
Mito. Was that his name? Who was?
Yeah, Mito Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama boy, isn't he, Justin Thomas?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
It hurts to
Right.
get against him, but
Another relatively notable news story from the PGA Championship. Obviously, Tiger Woods pulling out after a few days. And I was talking to my dad about this the other day because I'm a few years younger than you guys. Because I've always known Tiger as the washed up veteran who's trying to make a comeback. Like I've never seen Tiger in his prime.
he won the Masters 2 years ago. Watch yourself.
No, I'm just saying, in his domination period was what, like the 2000s. 99 to 2009.
Before he won the Masters in 2020, he hadn't won a major since 2008.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. I hadn't really ever seen his dominance before. So it's like it was unsurprising, and I feel bad saying this. It was like unsurprising seeing him struggle in the PGA Championship, just because, like I said, I've always known him as that guy. What do you guys feel whenever you see Tiger going for these championships?
But the crazy thing is he's not playing his best golf, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He's made the cut in both majors so far.
Mm-hmm.
And also a fun fact I saw the other day, he still has more major championship wins than missed cuts at a major championship.
That's kind of nuts.
Tiger Woods has won 15 major championships and only missed the cut at a major championship 11 times.
Wow.
You talked about Connor. He went through a long period where he wasn't winning majors, and granted, he wasn't playing in a lot of them either.
Yeah.
He had some stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
you would say.
You would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think him making both cuts is pretty much a win. Obviously, Saturday you saw it all fall apart.
Yeah.
All weekend he was limping. Like he didn't look 100.
Yeah, of course.
This weekend. But I think him making both cuts is kind of a win, especially being within a year of breaking his leg in how many different places.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty incredible.
Daly had himself a couple decent rounds too. It's fun seeing him out
at
on
the
the course.
at the top of the leaderboard for a minute there in round 1.
Really exciting.
So Ryan, did you have anything else? Yeah.
No, it's just I wasn't really watching golf at the time where Tiger was dominant, but I mean he is such I saw something the other day. If you were going to rank like the top 4 pinnacles of sports,
Mount Rushmore of sports,
Mount Rushmore of sports or whatever here, like Tiger's up there. Tiger is on that Mount Rushmore just for like the attention that he brought to golf, like how mainstream he made it. It used to just to be viewed as an old white man sport, and then Tiger came out and started winning majors, and it crossed so many more boundaries, and you see so many different people from so many different walks of life playing the game. Up there with Serena Williams is on that, Tom Brady potentially, MJ, so.
And Tiger Woods changed golfers from being dad bod dudes hitting a ball around, of course, to being athletes. Like you have guys like Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka who were probably could play other sports. Like they're legitimate athletes. And Tiger Woods was the first one to. And John Daly's still out there. Phil Mickelson's still out there. But I mean, he changed the sport to actually being athletic and playing the game of golf.
So we kind of heard Ryan's Mount Rushmore of sports there. Robbie, what's your Mount Rushmore? 4 people you can choose. You can put on that
Ryan
Mount
gave
Rushmore.
One person. He did not give us
he said the
Mount.
rest of it. He said Williams, Brady, and Jordan.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Listen.
Get locked in.
I was listening.
I mean, because mine would be similar, except for mine would be Jordan, Serena, Tom Brady, and then instead of Tiger, I'd put Phelps. But that's just...
Yeah,
I saw Phelps more than Tiger.
Brady and Jordan, I feel like, are locked in. Can't forget about Gretzky.
Oh, damn, yeah, Gretzky. If you want 4.
I don't know if it's if it should just be active players or
you kind of got to do it by generation, yeah.
Yeah.
But Gretzky is so far and away the GOAT. If you're gonna break down all 4 major sports, Gretzky is by far and away the best hockey player to ever play in the NHL. Yeah. And it's not even close.
Yeah.
Brady is getting there, but still no one is close to Gretzky.
But Brady also, I mean, Brady's a great player, but Brady's not necessarily the greatest football player to ever play. He's the most accomplished football player to ever play
that's the whole debate that it comes down to, right? Like obviously he's not the most talented. That could be like Mike Vick in his prime, right? But like you're not gonna put Mike Vick in his prime on Mount Rushmore. He hasn't done as much for the sport as Brady has.
Mike Vick in Madden 2004, though, that he is on the video game character in Mount Rushmore. So
hit Vic hard.
So moving on to the next topic, something from earlier in the week that I found. Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher having a little bit of back and forth. I thought you guys would find this interesting as the Alabama boys. Nick Saban basically claiming that Jimbo Fisher being the coach for Texas A&M. Whoever doesn't know that, Nick Saban said something along the lines of A&M pays for their players, and Jimbo basically responded with "Look who's talking." So what is y'all's analysis on this beef between Saban and Fisher?
They just said something that shouldn't have been said that is 100% going on. It has been going on well before NIL.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act like that Alabama and A&M both haven't had bagmen for the last, probably since college football got popular.
No,
that is correct.
Well, I think part of it was just that there's been this honor among thieves thing of like, well, I know that you're paying your players, and then like you're paying yours, and like we're just not going to talk about it. Like everyone's paying their, we're just not going to talk about it. And I think Saban kind of upset that.
Saban's getting old and cranky. He's just going to start spouting off.
there was
filter anymore.
There was this theory going around. I don't know if mom or dad said it or something, that Saban did that purposely, like for donors, or like I can't remember what the story was. He like that was a plan for him to like get donors. To
it's like a shout out to like the Alabama donors that need to pony up more cash.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to compete, you better pay the players more.
Daddy Saban needs more.
It's like even if you weren't getting the NIL deals, Alabama has shown that they could like foster and build these kids to come and actually have a shot at NFL careers. I mean, like 42 first-round picks, and since Saban's been a coach there, compared to how many losses? I mean, he has more first-rounders than losses. It's insane.
Yeah.
So.
In relation to Alabama, I saw earlier that Eli Holstein, I'm not sure which one, 4-star quarterback has committed to Alabama. Nobody's surprised. Quarterbacks, or 4 stars or 5 stars, always go to Alabama.
He was the one that decommitted from A&M as well. He decommitted from A&M like the last month or so, and then committed to Alabama.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Saban got the first laugh, and I'm sure it'd be a long feud. Probably the whole year.
And Jimbo got the win. Jimbo got that win though this past year, so you got to give him props for that.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
And then in other recruiting news, Arch Manning apparently is visiting the University of Texas again. And being quarterback, and obviously UT just gained Quinn Ewers, who obviously Ryan and I know because of our high school. But Quinn Ewers being such a highly rated recruit out of high school, what does that mean for him? Because obviously Arch Manning has such a familial pedigree of greatness in terms of the quarterback position. If Arch decides to go to UT, what does Quinn try to find something else, or are they just, because I can't imagine that because of the ease of the transfer portal now, I can't imagine that whoever gets the backup job would stay.
Where was Arch looking beside? It's so we're not going to get him now because of we got our quarterback.
UT and Georgia.
Where else?
I think Georgia.
Those are the 3 official visits he took.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I think he's going to Georgia for what it's worth.
I tend to agree. Quinn Ewers, if he transfers again, it's going to turn into like a Tate Martell situation.
Yeah,
that's Tathan to you.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, it's just so surprising that it's kind of, because Quinn was rated like one of the highest prospects ever, and so it's just kind of surprising that he's kind of flipping back and forth. I mean, obviously he only has transferred once, but it would just be strange to see if Arch went there again and seeing if somehow he beat out Quinn for the starting spot, and then he would have to go somewhere else. I just find it interesting what the competition's going to be.
See, college football recruiting is always kind of wild.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to these high-end recruits, and especially with NIL deals, man, it's just
now you got coaches beefing and like it's getting
bro, let's go, In relation to football, though, moving to the professional side, apparently the NFL is considering eradicating the Pro Bowl game. What are your guys'? Robbie, obviously you haven't. So just
no one watches that shit. like it's not good. It's not good entertainment like the NBA All-Star Weekend is.
Right.
Not like the MLB where they got the home run derby and you're actually playing for something, right? In the MLB, you play for home field advantage.
Bring back the like quarterback skills challenge.
That was fun.
You guys remember that? Like those were great. Like do shit like that. Like that's the type of stuff. Or like have like Tyreek Hill race people. I don't know. Like do something.
Imagine. Yeah.
Get Usain Bolt and Tyreek Hill out there. I'd much rather watch them race
honestly.
for 10 seconds than watch the Pro Bowl. Like it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like the Pro Bowl, all those guys are going half speed, and you don't blame them because they're not getting paid to go play in the Pro Bowl. Like they could accidentally hurt themselves. They're still big ass dudes running around hitting into each other.
Except for Sean Taylor.
Yeah.
Sean Taylor used to throw down in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. For no good reason besides he just wanted to.
Yeah.
Besides, he was Sean Taylor. That was pretty much the reason.
Well, I mean, it was kind of the same thing, with the NBA. Thank God the NBA figured out how to revitalize it with, the scoring goals and the charity stuff. But I mean, there was, from 2000s, not 2000s, that's like 2010s onward. I mean, it's not like anybody really wanted to watch the NBA All-Star game because it was the same thing. They were going half speed, and then obviously a few years ago they added the stipulation.
The All-Star contest and the dunk contest.
Yeah, but when's the last time the dunk contest was good? Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, 2016.
Yes,
that was 6 years ago. Yeah, 3-point contest is still fun. I'll still give him that, especially with Karl Anthony Towns winning this past year. That was fun.
You're saying that 6 years ago made me feel old, but the thing I heard the other day that made me feel older was that Andrew Wiggins was drafted 8 years ago.
Yeah, Wiggins been in the league a while.
Yeah, it does not seem like he's been playing for that long. But
that's kind of nuts. Another kind of funny story. Apparently, CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver for the Cowboys, is being sued because he refused to sign trading cards that he had originally agreed to. So Leaf Trading Cards is suing him for breach of contract. I just thought that was kind of an interesting headline. You guys got any takes on that?
I mean, if there's a contract, like
just do the thing. Like, how hard is it to
have
sign?
a reason why he didn't want to sign?
I don't think he came out with any statement. I think it's just they're just suing him because he didn't.
Maybe he's just too busy training for the upcoming Dallas Cowboys season.
Yeah, true. This is true.
I mean, he might think because I collect trading cards and whatnot, and higher touted dudes get paid more per signature.
Could be that.
Maybe he had like a contract dispute. He thought he had a good enough season where he thought Leaf wasn't paying him that well. Also, Leaf is like second-rate cards, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
But he needs the high end, like collectible trading cards and whatnot. Like Leaf is kind of mid at best.
Yeah.
So
that could have been.
I can't imagine they're paying him a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and continuing on with NFL news, Robbie, this pertains to you. I can't remember exactly where I saw this report, but apparently the Panthers are extremely open to bringing back Cam Newton. What are your thoughts on this?
The Panthers are opening to bringing back any quarterback
ever.
He might dead or alive. Like they might go back and like resurrect like Johnny Unitas at this point. Like they really just don't have any plan.
Where's Delhomme? Can he still sling it?
He's announcing somewhere. He's a commentator for one of the networks. Bring back Jimmy Clausen at this point, dude. Let's get the whole game back together.
Come on, Clausen.
Brett Favre. Just get Brett Favre out of retirement again.
I mean, at this point, like they clearly don't have a plan because any quarterback that's available is like he could go to the Panthers. It's like they don't have a plan. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Hey, don't put all your eggs in one basket. They're just spreading.
Matt Rule did say that CMC will not play in the preseason because they're gonna try something different this year, only for him to tear his hamstring in week 3 again.
Fantasy owners in pain. Another year.
Bro, they just rode him like a horse till his back broke, and now he's just
him not playing preseason games isn't going to change the fact that he touches the ball 40 times a game. Like,
jeez, yeah,
because he is the only serviceable offensive option that the Panthers have.
DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson was good 2 years ago.
I got burned by him 2 years ago for fantasy and have never mentally.
He was good last year.
DJ Moore has like the most yards from scrimmage of like any receiver in the last 5 years.
Well, 2 years ago, he was a walking bum.
Well,
shouldn't have drafted him, I guess. Idiot.
Yeah, okay. Would you rather have DJ Moore or CMC?
CMC.
What?
No, I mean,
only serviceable option because we don't have a quarterback that's going to throw to DJ Moore.
Ryan, I'll trade you DJ Moore for CMC.
Yeah, that sounds like a fair trade.
Done and done.
Continuing on with more NFL news, that's the last NFL headline. The Washington Commanders are most likely building a new stadium. They paid about $100 million for land in Virginia. There hasn't been anything released about what they're planning to do with it. But given that they bought a lot of land, I think most people can probably speculate what they intend to do with it. I'm not really very familiar with their old stadium, so
I'm
Have you
sorry,
not
I
seen the video
totally
of-
missed this.
what?
What? What are we? What stadium? Who bought land? I'm sorry, I like zoned
The
out.
Washington
Commanders.
Redskins / football team / Commanders.
It's not
owned
Redskins
by
anymore.
None other than Dan Snyder himself. Bought land in Virginia to build a new football stadium because their current field is falling apart.
Mm.
Like that gate that almost fell on Jalen Hurts as he was leaving the stadium.
That happened? When did that happen?
The
Oh, yeah, it
fans
was
were
a
like
whole thing.
leaning over the thing, like trying to give him a high five, and the barrier collapsed, and they all like
God.
fell, and like it almost fell on Jalen Hurts.
Jeez.
No, I actually think this is just Dan Snyder buying land just for funsies. Like I would not be surprised for him to spend that much money
Bro,
on land.
I don't know
and
how.
not build
I don't.
anything.
I don't know what the steps are to remove an NFL owner from their position, but I mean the NFL has to be working on that, right?
I think all the owners have to like vote you out or something.
Okay.
It involves the other owners.
Yeah.
Well, the other owners probably
Jerry
he's got
Jones.
dirt on the other. He's
Yeah.
probably got dirt on the other owners, so
Yeah, he's staying. He's here for the long
he
run.
knows Kraft got other things and happy
Yeah.
ending massage.
Hey, yo.
Kraft's business in Florida.
Not again. We covered this last week, guys. Not again.
It never gets.
Another interesting headline, non-sports related. Robbie, I saw this yesterday on TikTok. The last payphone in New York City was ripped out of Times Square yesterday. I thought that was a pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, Connor. That's
I know.
a fun
That's a
fact.
fun fact of the day.
Have you ever seen a working payphone in person?
Yeah. I think in Boston.
I was just wondering.
I think in Boston I saw a few. That was like 2016. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, so that was an interesting thing that I saw. Robbie, do you have a song of the week for us before my next headline?
I have a great song
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
called, but it got played at a lot of our events that we had in college at the house. It's called Mine Diamonds by MCAP Steve.
Nice.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone,
Yeah.
but if you're listening to the podcast, I imagine that you'll enjoy it. So it's on Spotify. Go give it a listen.
Yeah.
It is.
I would love to get Connor's reaction to that on the podcast. I think that'd be a great.
I don't think we'd
intro
get
into the next video.
copyright stricken
No, I
down
don't-
for
I
that.
don't- I don't think we would.
I really like this song. It sounds good.
Mom.
Mining away.
That last high note he hits,
It somehow
Insane.
gets better.
it does get better. Yeah,
Oh
song of the-
man.
So have fun editing that, Connor, to be a palatable ear level for our listeners.
Don't worry. I got
Oh,
it.
Ryan and I exist to make your job way harder.
Yeah.
That's the entire reason that we're here.
That was
Absolutely.
the great song of the week, Robbie. Thanks for recommending that.
You're welcome.
I have a fact that I learned today.
Always.
Fun
Oh yeah, you
facts.
did that for like 3 weeks and then you just stopped doing fun things.
Classic, that's just me. Today I learned that after the TV show Teletubbies, which was one of my favorite
All-time favorite.
shows as a youngling growing up.
Still is.
So after the show ended, the owner of the land had to dig out the hill and flood the field it was filmed in because there was an unbelievable amount of people trespassing with their children to see the Teletubby land.
Hey, yo.
He had to raise the field and like the little dome and everything that the show was filmed in because people wouldn't stop trespassing.
That's actually really funny.
So there's your
What?
fun fact of the day. So Teletubby Land no longer exists as it was
That's
in
kinda
the
sad.
show.
That's very sad.
Pain and suffering.
Ryan wanted to go there.
Yes, absolutely. That's all I want.
So, Robbie, I have a headline that might make you kind of excited. So apparently, McDonald's and Kanye West are collaborating on a major project. So instead of the Travis Scott meal, it's going to be the Kanye West meal.
Oh boy,
God.
that's good.
Are they actually letting Kanye have a say? Because then I'm terrified.
It just says they're collaborating. So, yes.
I don't even want to know.
What is it going to be? Do you think it's going to be a meal? Is it going to be like a song promotion of some sort? Is it like his music videos just straight up in a McDonald's?
Bro, it's gonna be some shit that, like Kanye. You can get the McDouble with an Oreo McFlurry like poured over top of it. It's gonna be the fucking Kanye meal.
On a burger? Oh
Nice.
no. That's
To God,
that's horrid.
it's foul. It is foul.
Oh man. And then getting into some of the TV stuff, Robbie, both Ryan and I have now seen the She-Hulk trailer. Marvel catching a lot of flack for having back-to-back shows that CGI is a little questionable. I know people were not thrilled with the CGI in She-Hulk, so that was kind of an interesting aspect. But Ryan, I think Ryan and I both relatively enjoyed it. It looks very, very different from the from a lot of the other stuff in the MCU. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the She-Hulk trailer?
They didn't show too much, which was nice. Sometimes Marvel has been one of those trailer reveals that
Yeah.
like kind of show the whole plot.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what's actually going to happen, and I think it's kind of nice about some of these Marvel TV shows. It's going to be cool seeing Banner in there because I mean we saw Banner in Endgame, and then I don't think we've seen him since.
Shang-Chi,
So
he was
we're
in the
gonna-
post credit.
That's right.
But he was
in
like
Shang-Chi.
but he was human in the post credit with like a broken arm, so he was yeah.
So yeah, we'll get caught up on him, and then obviously have this new character. And is she supposed to be his cousin?
His cousin, yeah.
Is that what I understood?
Mhm.
Okay.
It seems
You
like
know.
there's a good chance there might be a Daredevil cameo too, because she's a lawyer in New York City.
Oh, true, yeah.
There
Oh.
it is.
And then in other Marvel news, Thor: Love and Thunder official trailer dropped today. And that was actually pretty, because it actually showed an interaction between Thor and Jane, and she was like, "How long has it been? 3-4 years?" And he was like, 8 years, 5 months, and 7 days.
Well, someone said that means that she was probably blipped.
Yeah, she was blipped. Yeah,
because of the 5
definitely.
years.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together when the show happened.
Yeah. And then Christian Bale looks fantastic
Terrifying.
he looks incredible as the
Now
man.
I need to go watch this.
It's very good.
Oh, yeah, it's a really good show.
They also have shots that are in full black and white, and apparently that's like part of the power of the Christian Bale's character is like a different dimension or something. So that's kind of interesting.
All this dimensional shit.
And then the last TV thing I have, Stranger Things, comes out in 3 days. The first half, and then the second half will come out in July. I'm excited to see that. If you guys have anything else, bring it up now.
I don't think I have anything else off the top of my head.
Going
Quick
once.
pod.
Going to it. Well, we're gonna get into our quote unquote tier list. We're basically this is an NBA related tier list, to where we are going to essentially put all the players that we think deserve to be in the all teams. We're gonna put the first team together, the second team together, third team together, and then some of the honorable mentions. I just found a list on the website itself, so let me set that up real quick, and then we can get into that. Should we just kind of say who we think should definitely be on the first team?
Can I actually start with something real quick
Of course.
before we get into that? Why the hell is Russell Westbrook on this list?
As I
Why
didn't
is
make
that
it.
man-
Put him
I
in
didn't make
deep
it.
here. Put him in deep here.
Yeah.
Put that man in D tier
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, that's what I did. What I did.
Okay, another question before we discuss. Are we creating an actual starting lineup,
Mm-hmm.
or are we just picking the 5 best players in the NBA this year?
That's a good question, because don't they do it based guard, forward, center?
Yeah.
Is that how
I
they
think they changed it so you don't have to necessarily have a center. I think you can do I think forwards
Three
and centers are
forwards.
together.
It's a front court, back court.
Yes.
I feel like we should probably stick to those regulations.
Front court, back court.
Yeah,
Okay.
two back court, 3 front court. Though on the first team, I feel like Jokic, because he was the
Yep.
MVP. I feel like you have to have Jokic, and I feel like you have to have Giannis.
And you
You're
have to have Embiid. I feel like your front court is pretty locked in on the first team.
Yeah, Embiid. Yep, that's a good shout. Good shout. Where is Embiid?
Because those were the 3 finalists for the MVP.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the 3 best players in the league all year.
And are you telling me that if we're going off MVP rankings, D Book has got to be in the backcourt with Luca? I just don't love that.
I don't think you have to go off. I don't
I think
think
you
you have to
gotta
go
go
off
Steph.
ranking. But I just think those 3 were the best players in the NBA this year.
I don't know if
Wait.
you go Steph, Connor, because he was hurt.
Yeah, that's good. Well, do we think Luca? Do we think Luca's the first team? Rob, I know obviously we're homer picks, so Robbie, what do you think?
I'm looking through the guards, trying to think
Yeah,
about if anyone's better.
You got Kyrie, Butler.
Kyrie
Booker.
didn't play most. Kyrie
No,
only played
no.
half. Put that bum in D tier too.
Yeah, we're putting Kyrie and DD. Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell doesn't. I don't imagine Mitchell sniffs a
I
team.
feel
does
like
he?
you gotta put Luca in first team.
I might go Luka and Steph.
Ryan
I
makes
was
a good point
leaning
though.
Luca and Butler.
If Jimmy counts as a guard, I would consider putting him in
He was
first team.
for part of the year too, though.
No, you're right.
Same logic as Steph.
Hmm. We can't go Harden. We can't go Jalen. Like
Booker.
Jalen Brown's great, but
Booker's ass in the first team, man.
I feel like he
Ja?
might be the only. Oh yeah, wait, yeah, maybe Ja. Ryan, okay, wait. We got to take out personal feelings out of this because Ryan is purely just
No,
doesn't
but
like
like,
Devin Booker.
I was looking at some of the stats. I mean, go regular season award.
Because
Man, we're really snubbing Braun too after averaging 30 points.
Braun's second. Yeah, we can go lock Braun in the second.
yeah, Braun's obviously in the second team. Braun got kind of a bad draw because the three
Braun
front
and
court
KD.
guys are all MVP. Yeah, wait, hold
Braun
on.
and
We gotta finish the first team. Hold on.
Sorry.
Getting ahead of
Jumping
yourself.
the gun.
Yeah.
Jumping the gun.
Now I will say,
Yeah,
interestingly enough, a lot of the fan votes last month actually, I think because they didn't want to put two centers, but like you guys said, they don't do the front court, center anymore. But I think actually Tatum was in the first team. In terms
It's
of fan
it's
voting.
not an awful pick. He's first or second.
I think the front court for second team is okay. Sorry, let's finish the first team. So
I think we already figured out the front court for the second.
yeah, we already know the front court. Yeah. So
Is my man KD getting disrespected?
no, he's gonna be, but no, he's gonna in the second team.
Okay.
So what we got? So we can either go Steph, Booker, or Ja.
Ja.
God,
For
Trey
sure.
Young's also getting disrespected.
He's not first team. Nah, he's not first team. He's a bum. Trey Young's a bum. He went to Oklahoma. Nothing good's coming out of Oklahoma.
Averaging 28, 10,
Yeah, what did the Hawks do? Huh? Nothing.
and 28, 10, and 4?
What the Nuggets do?
He was the MVP though. He actually had something to show for it.
I had 27. Where's this stuff? 27, 7.
I think Ja
Six.
definitely over Booker because he has better. He has literally better stats in every category over Booker.
I'm all there for that if we want to put Ja.
You just hate Devin.
We think Ja or Steph.
Ja.
Ja, just
Played-
because he
played
played
the full year.
Yeah, that's
He
not true.
did
He was
not.
out for. He was out for
He also
a few
got
games.
hurt.
He also got hurt.
I'm
Yeah,
cool.
Ryan-
I
Ryan's
like
tripping.
Ja. Put Ja first team.
All right, we'll put Ja because we all hate Booker. Second team.
Unbiased.
Second
Even
team.
though Booker played 68 games.
front court is Tatum, KD, and LeBron. Like that is
Yeah, that was-
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh god,
Literally
DeRozan was
the-
so good this year.
Uh-huh.
The DeRozan is
But he's a small
DeRozan's not a
forward.
guard.
He's
Yeah,
small
he's a
forward.
three.
He plays shooting guard or small forward.
What's it? I think it's primary small forward though now.
I,
Oh, I feel kind of bad leaving him off of second team.
Levine's the 2, isn't he?
Yeah, because it's Lonzo, Levine, and then DeMar.
Lonzo, Levine, and DeMar. Yeah. That's a
Dude, I feel
1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's
I
that's
feel-
tough.
and Vucevic as a 5.
All right, so I think Book, Steph, second team.
Yes, I agree.
Dude, I feel bad leaving like I agree with you, but I feel bad leaving like Jimmy and DeMar on the third team, bro. I feel like that's
But
kind
I still think that all of the front court we put ahead of them is better.
yeah. Well, it's okay. So we got definitely Jimmy, or wait, we go DeMar, Jimmy,
I think Trae Young's there too.
Cat probably. Yeah, Cat. What, Trey Young, and then
Cat
what,
actually played like games this year.
Yeah.
Paul George.
No, not doing it.
We have to have a
What about
front.
What
Who?
about my guy?
What's our third
The
team?
ball
Sorry,
brother, the
So
ball
we-
man.
So we have
DeRozan.
two forwards and two guards. We need a forward.
So we got Cat, DeRozan,
Trey Young and Jimmy Butler.
Trey, and Jimmy. We need a forward.
So we need a forward. So Middleton or Paul George.
So we
and that's it.
are we saying Butler's the 2?
Butler's a
essentially?
2. Yeah, Butler's a 2. So we can either choose Middleton or Paul George. Dude, I feel like Loki's got to be PG. No, but he only came back in the second half of the season though, didn't he?
He played 31 games.
Can we
No,
put Jimmy as front court and put Donovan Mitchell in?
No, it's got to be Middleton, right? Because Middleton didn't get hurt till the end of the season, right?
maybe Mitchell is a good nod.
But Butler's a 2.
I want to put Jimmy at the 3 and put.
But
Mitchell.
but yeah, that's not how it works.
I don't care.
So
I don't.
if we're ruling out PG based on the number of games played, it literally has to be Middleton.
I think we put Donovan Mitchell in. I think we say fuck the rules
I don't mind putting. What's wrong with Middleton?
because I think Donovan Mitchell had a way better year.
But it's not allowed. We can't do that.
I don't care.
right, how about we put them both
Now,
there
okay,
and
here-
let the people decide?
I'm coming in with a bit of a hot take. Butler is having a way better postseason than not that he had a bad regular season, but he's having a better postseason. Do we think the
Agreed.
most recent postseason success is clouding our judgment here on the third?
Very possible.
I would
He was hurt for a
say
while there too.
What were
I would
Butler's
say
regular season
Jimmy
stats?
Buckets leading the honorable mentions.
Okay.
I feel like that's so disrespectful.
We put Donovan
Jimmy
Mitchell on
Butler
13?
played 57 games, averaged 21 points, six boards, 5 assists.
What about defensive-wise, steals and blocks?
1.6 steals and 0.5 blocks.
1.6 steals is pretty good.
Anthony Edwards had more blocks on average.
Anthony Edwards is not in the playoffs anymore.
Anthony Edwards on this list.
Yeah, true.
Where's Ant-Man?
Okay, so what did Mitchell average this season?
Mitchell averaged 26, played 67 games, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, 0.2 blocks on 3 turnovers a game, compared to Butler at 2.1 turnovers a game.
Okay, but keep in mind if we still have to make the decision on Middleton or Paul George because they're the only forwards left. So it's got to be Middleton.
I put Middleton.
I put Middleton.
So we're dropping Jimmy. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I guess we gotta drop Jimmy, and then we're putting there,
Fire.
and then okay, and now we get to go through either honorable mention or D tier.
So can we go through a couple of guys in D tier?
Wesbrook,
Right.
D tier.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Westbrook
already
D
have
tier.
Westbrook and Kyrie in D tier.
Is that
Yeah.
I think we can put Harden in.
Harden, yeah, I
Paul.
would Harden in D tier. Yeah.
Is that Garland? Darius Garland?
He was good this year. He was actually good.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm asking if that was Darius Garland.
But
We-
in terms
we
of
put Paul in D tier too, just because fuck him.
yeah, I like that.
Dude, Darius Garland gets boards.
Darius Garland's good, dude.
I definitely think he's an honorable mention.
I'm also confused on like where some of these other guys are.
I feel like all the rest
where
of
is
them are good.
Levine?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Where's Levine?
You don't think Levine is an honorable mention?
Yeah, he could be an honorable. Yeah.
So we got.
I put Levine as an honorable mention over PG's bum ass playing only 30 games.
But he
Let's
was pretty damn good in the
We'll
last
put PG in D tier just for Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think LaMelo, Jalen Brown, and Jordan Poole are all deserving of honorable mention as well.
Yeah, of course. So given the fact
Pool
that
for sure.
given the
Because of the
fact
season.
that we have the most players in honorable mention, that by the rules we have to rank the honorable mentions tier.
I have us all split 5 across the board.
I have 6 in honorable mention:
Who do you have in D tier?
Westbrook, Kyrie, Harden, and Chris Paul.
I put PG down there too.
I put PG down there too.
All right, I guess we got PG down there. Damn.
Oh!
We'll still rank honorable mention though. We'll still rank honorable.
All right, honorable mention: we got Jimmy Butler, Jalen Brown, Jordan Poole, Darius Garland, LaMelo. Does
I think
Garland go at
Jimmy
the bottom?
I would have Garland
That's what I said.
higher. I had LaMelo
Oh.
at the bottom.
Damn, your
I
hometown
would
boy.
say LaMelo probably at the bottom too. Hey man, I don't know.
I mean, they're all all-star caliber, so it's hard to say that any of them are bad or whatever. But we think Butler's at the top, or we think Jalen Brown's at the top. Probably Butler.
I put
Like-
Butler.
Yeah,
Butler.
I'd put Butler. I think what I have right now is actually probably right. So it's Butler. I have Butler, Brown, Poole, Garland, and then LaMelo. Or no. I put Garland above Poole actually. I don't know, because I feel like Poole only really heated up in the second half of the season. I thought he
Pool at
did.
the bottom of honorable mentions.
Oh, under LaMelo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what? Yeah, I thought Brown did well this year. Yeah, Brown averaged 23, 7, and 3.
Sounds like me and Ryan at the wreck.
I feel like so. What we got?
You, Holmes.
So we got
Easy.
Jimmy Buckets, Jalen Brown, Darius Garland, LaMelo, and then Jordan Poole.
I'm fine with that.
All
I
right.
will lose sleep over that.
So our front court for our first team: Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then our backcourt: Luka Doncic and Ja Morant. Our second team forwards are Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. The guards are Devin Booker and Steph Curry. The third team, the forwards are DeMar DeRozan and Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Middleton. The guards are Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell. Honorable mentions, we have Jimmy Butler, Jalen Brown, Darius Garland, LaMelo Ball, and Jordan Poole. And then in our D tier, we have leading the way Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Chris Paul, and Paul George. And yes, some of those are personal vendettas, but we don't want to hear your
100%.
opinion. Yeah.
We don't want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, not even a little bit, completely honestly.
All right, boys, real quick. Throwing this out there. Most turnovers, average per game, rank them for me. Top 5.
Well, are we guessing?
Yeah, you're guessing.
Russell Westbrook number 1.
Every single one of the players is on this list that we're looking at within these 25 dudes.
You said most turnovers?
Most turnovers.
Most turnovers, I would guess LaMelo.
Nope.
He's in top 5.
Nope.
Oh.
Really?
LaMelo is like 15th.
Probably Luka.
4.5 turnovers a game.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
James Harden.
Yeah.
Number 2, 4.4 turnovers a game.
Kyrie?
Chris Paul?
Pandemic P, 4.1 turnovers a game. What a bum!
Deserves to be a D.
Ryan stays hating Paul George.
Lowest efficiency of these 5 guys with the most turnovers. Trae Young is at 4 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
And Jokic at 3.8 because he's surrounded by middle school.
So for our listeners, what Ryan just did here is called confirmation bias. And it's when you go find stats the narrative that you created in your head. And you just got to witness it live on the Bros and the Berg podcast.
That's tell them what you want them to tell you.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Paul George,
hey, he does have sticky fingers. 2.2 steals a game.
You heard it here first. Paul George is a bum. That was our first episode was can Paul George push P, and we decided that Paul George cannot push P.
He cannot, in fact, push P.
Ryan, why don't you sign us out here on episode 14?
Well, again, thank you for listening wherever you get your podcast and or watching on YouTube. We hope you enjoyed this week's show, and we hope to see you back on the next one. For Robbie, Connor, and myself, this has been the Bros and the Berg. We'll see you next time.
Adios.
No,
Please
say the thing, Robbie. Yeah.
Say the thing, Bart.